Yo, Shalom, loved ones. All praises to the Most High Power, Yah-Oh, through our priest king, YAOHSHARALITE. Last few days, it's been a lot of discussions about colorism, race, stemming from an honest and true statement that was made by Whoopi Goldberg. Now, I don't support entertainers like that. I really don't even pay attention to what they really have to say about a lot of different things, right? But the truth of the matter is, the statement that she made is absolutely correct. And for you have a lot of people that's having a lot of comments. I even actually got suspended from Stereo, right? New app, something like Clubhouse. I started a conversation yesterday based off of research, right? In the research led to you understanding a chart that deals with colorism, right? So in the chart, it asks the question, are Jews white people? This is 2020, research from last year. The majority answer was yes. They consider themselves to be white. When it comes down to race, that construct that they constructed, yeah, they consider themselves to be that. What I'm going to show, right? Because what these Jews are saying is that the Holocaust was a racist situation, was a racist incident that took place. Well, what we do understand about their racial construct and colorism is that a racist act is not done towards one, right, of a person that look like you. A racist act is done from someone that looks completely different than you. Another point that I want to make, they talk about this particular image that this tyrant supposed to have pushed, Hitler's supposed to have pushed, meaning that he was pushing a pure race. That pure race looked a certain particular type of way. Blonde hair, blue eyes, or so have you, pale skin for sure. How is he pushing something that he don't look like? There is no depiction of Hitler being blonde hair, nor having blue eyes. The only thing that will make that situation back then, what they call racist, will be an example of what I'm about to show you in the next couple of minutes, right? It's about an hour-long video, hour and 30 minutes. So if you have the time to listen, please do so. If not, when you do have time, tap into what I'm bringing out, because it's one thing to have a lot to talk about. I'm not one to really like to be talking and, as they say, preaching, or as I like to say. But I would rather for you to hear a little bit of my commentary, right? But listen to what they say and watch their actions, right? What you're going to see is what racism is, how it works, right? That took place over there had nothing to do with racism. Again, unless he looked like me. Did Hitler look like me? Did Hitler look like one of our brothers? Because that would make it a racist situation, right? But again, if he looked like me, but yet pushing a pure race in a blonde hair, blue eyed thing, like, what are we talking about? The hell is we talking about? But these are the lies that they push to us. These are the lies that they push to the world. And everybody, for some reason, eats it up. Few things. Jew, the word itself. You can't find it in no ancient language. You can't even find it in the language that they consider to speak, which is Yiddish, which is the German dialect of Hebrew. Where's the word? Where's the word? It's not there. You can't find it in our language, nor Yiddish, nor any Shemitic language on the planet. So who are they? How are they considered a nation of people, an ethnic group? What? When we talk about ethnicity, we're talking about a different people coming into another people's land and cohabitating, mingling with them. Let me give you an example. When we, as YAOHSHARAL, migrated into what they call Northern Africa, you know what we became when we linked in and merged cultures? We became what they call Bantu, what they call Yoruba, right? All ethnic groups or tribes in Northern Africa, Western Africa, Central Africa, Eastern Africa. These are what you call ethnic groups. But the reason that we will be called that and we'll be able to mix amongst each other because we look something similar. This is why y'all was able to mix amongst who y'all mixed amongst when y'all go to America, when y'all go to Europe, when y'all go to all these places where you see the pale skin and rule. This is why y'all can fit in, because y'all part of the same goddamn people. But we let y'all tell it, right? We let y'all run y'all mouth, right? With the lies that comes out, just constantly just coming out, constantly just coming out. Y'all not white. Y'all not related to them in no way, fashion, or form. But y'all look alike. Y'all move alike. Y'all have the same characteristics, but y'all not white. And we supposed to eat that up and then repeat that lie. Stop it. Stop it. So what I'm going to do, because I don't like to really hear myself talk a lot, we're going to get right into the video. Right? We're going to get right into the video because this is a little lengthy. So here we go, fam. Let me make sure I got everything set before. All right. Make sure everything is set before. Right. Okay, we good here. All right. So now let me do this. I'm going to share. Screen. Bam. Okay, here we go. All right. Let's get it, family. Let's get it. This is what they say that they not. They say they're not white people. They say they're not racist. Right. But we're going to see what racism is and how it works when one group of people hates another group just because of the color of their skin. Again, this is what racism is. When one group hates another group for the color of their skin. Hitler was pale skinned, so he didn't hate the so-called Jews for the color of their skin. Did he hate them for a religion that they created and made up? It's a possibility, but that's not the point. The point is they were two pale-skinned people fighting amongst each other. It was not a racist situation. So we're going to show you from them being Jews in America being very, very racist in what they say Hitler was to them. Pay attention, family. You already hear, you fucking mooly fucks. Who was he talking? He's not talking to his own people, calling them moolies. You know, they always called us moolies in New York and in the East Coast. But again, look at those in uniform, look at those reporters, and look at those as far as the community, right? So they seen one of us going through the community and decided to take matters into their own hands and do whatever they did to our brother or our sister, right? So now it's an uproar in their city, and the police is out to protect their city. You see what I'm saying? Not necessarily to protect us, but to make sure, right, we don't venture off and go into another store, anything like that. Because then if we went to in anybody's store to buy some water because we was thirsty, now that's a major problem. No, you moolies can't be in here, right? Racist. This is not the same thing that was happening in the Holocaust. And if any Jew, right, if any Jew would like to address Yashar, by all means, hit my email and we can go live and have this discussion. I have no issues with dealing with liars, right? Because that's what you are. You're liars. I have no issues dealing with liars face to face. I won't talk to an avatar, right? I won't talk to a black screen, right? But I'll talk to a liar face to face. Now, if you can't do that, if you can't be whatever you call yourself and stand on your twinkle toes and see me face to face, then you can mosey on, right? You can slither on like the serpent that you are. Because I don't have time to play games with parasites, right? That's not how I move. So either you're going to be one that stands on your 10 twinkle toes and have a discussion about truth and your lies, or again, you can slither on, because we're not playing games no more with none of y'all. We are home. We are home, right? Last time I checked, when you things jumped on y'all raggedy ass boats and made y'all way to the new world, we were already here. So what the hell y'all talking about? Go home. Y'all talking to yourself, but because y'all so ignorant and so dumb to truth, you say ignorant shit like this. Like, you're really saying something like you're really a patriot in the land, like you're really indigenous, and you know your forefathers actually were born here. They wasn't born here. Like, no, this is not their land. This is not where your forefathers were. This is where they came, right? As robbers and murderers and rapists. This is where y'all came. Exactly. This is why we have mulattoes in Europe and in America, because y'all raped our sisters. We wasn't dealing with none of y'all women. And y'all women was raping our men, right? Like, these are facts, not opinions, not lies. Everything that I'm speaking is documented, not just by mine, but by you wicked ass things, right? Let's get to it. Let's continue. Now, did y'all just see that? Hold up. Let's back that up a little bit. Let's back that up. Let's back it up right here, and I'm gonna pause it. Y'all see that, right? Y'all see that, right? Spaniard, Mexicans, right? With the Jews, with the white folks, they all together because they all look alike. They all Europeans. They all what you call Italian, right? I'm just saying. But you have a lot of Israelite brothers that say, oh, wait a minute, the Mexicans are, wait a minute, fam. Are they straddling the fence? Whose side they on? They on our side or are they with the white boys? What's going on? Oh, the darker the Mexican, oh, they're more Israel. The more pale they are, they're more Hornizos, Castizos. Like, what we talking about? Mestizos. Like, these are the descendants of Spaniards that I just named off. Mestizos, Hornizos, and Castizos. All Mexicans, right? And in their society, they treat the dark skin, they have colorism as well. They treat the dark skin so-called Spaniard, Mexican, like shit. So again, family, we need to be real mindful and observant of all things and everybody that's around us. Because a lot of these things that's claiming to be YAOHSHARAL, claiming to be a part of a specific tribe, they are not. They are not. And they prove it through their actions towards us.
to move later now. He big gashes, wounds are exposed to once writing music. Now he's a deep composer. Foes are flammable in its entirety. Step back 100 feet or so was what I let loose. It's fiery. Fisticuffs, lips are blistered. Y'all dread rappers want to sell cause it's hot, so they calypso. Flames, they bips it. Coming out the flow. So what? Every 1, 2, or 3 bars, all I hear is a cuss. You ain't impressing me, manifesting meaninglessness. This is the second verse, so I'ma seal it off like this. Here's an invitation to be facing me, to seek salvation, the proper education. Step into the whole song. The first time will be your last memories. 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 OC in his zone. My kid is this. My arsenal is stock. I leave your minds lost in the mist. I pick you off one at a time. Not for. Give me an encore. OC be like Sean, like a cargo. Effortless. One of the best of this. Man, the money I'm worth to most governments will leave a big deficit. Magnificent. On my own trip. Natural. Saturated by the blend of beats. But wild with it. Controlling souls with my power. Hour after minute. Every second. Troubleshooting. Never die cause I'm infinite. When it's all over. And my physical shell just rock. Rhymes will be left behind. Nickel. Blow up the spot. My presentation. Your taste. And I'm facing in your face. And this is Camp Crystal Lake. And I'm chasing. Step into the old song. The first time will be your last memories. The first time will be your last memories. The first time will be your last memories.
KEVINEGAN.
With some of the events that happened over the past year and the way that this area was portrayed, do you think that it was an accurate portrayal or no?
Well, I think they overemphasized some of the negative aspects, like in the print press. That's all you heard about was, the violence and how racial everybody was. But I'm sure that element exists in Bensonhurst, but I just think it was blown out of proportion.
Now, he said it was racist, racial, whatever he said, right? Now, again, we didn't see them talking crazy to each other. We didn't see them having an issue with each other. We don't never see them in America having an issue with each other to the point where now they enslaving each other, where they killing each other. Like, nah, right? You don't see that. So, like, for example, like those who ran their ass up in the so-called White House or over there in Washington, yeah, they shot one. Now, did they persecute that individual? You don't hear nothing about that. You don't hear nothing about the officer and all that. You don't hear nothing, right? They're not making their situation a spectacle, right? How they make every situation that basically that we deal with within our community a spectacle. They call us certain names. Like, for example, we looting, right? But their kids is just having a good time. They drunk, We tearing shit up because of injustice. They tearing shit up because of a fucking sports game, sports event. They team might have lost, so they tearing up the city. But those is just kids, in their feelings, having fun, as they say, or just doing what kids do. Tearing shit up. Yeah, y'all, that's what y'all kids do. Yeah, no doubt.
You didn't hear enough about working people in Bensonhurst.
Well, in your opinion, does it exist racial tension in Bensonhurst?
Yeah, I guess it does. Racial tension, it's really an Italian area, it's, a white area. It's not really a racially mixed area, so there's really no tension, but that's really the...
Now, you heard it out of his own mouth. Because it's not a racially mixed area, right? There's no problems. It's mainly Italians, whites, right? So they good. They function amongst each other. So you mean to tell me that once Hitler, I guess Hitler was the reason that they was the only reason that they were having issues amongst themselves. So they had to make him, an example, I guess, right? So I guess now because of that example, all the white folks have said, you know what, we're not going to have a conflict amongst each other, a racial conflict amongst each other like that happened, like what happened to us in Germany. We learned our lesson. We don't fight amongst each other like that. Listen, fam. It makes absolutely no sense what they talking about of what happened and the reason that it happened in Germany. Listen.
The first incident I've seen really in Bensonhurst, what happened there.
Well, do you think that a black person would be as safe in this neighborhood as a white person, for example?
I think so, yeah. I think so. Just truthfully.
And how do you feel as an individual about perhaps living in a racially mixed neighborhood?
Well, I'm from the Bronx. I come from a racially mixed area. I moved out here because my wife was out here. And I have no bones about it. I live in it. It depends upon the people in it, in the neighborhood.
How do you feel about programs like affirmative action?
Affirmative action. It depends. I think, you should get a job on your merits. It shouldn't be because you're black or you're white. It should be on your merits, That's it. That's the way I feel about it.
Okay. And how do you feel about Martin?
So basically, we should only get hired if we marry. We shouldn't get hired, because we need to take care of ourselves, we need to be independent, we need to be constructive citizens in their society. The only way that we can do that if we marry. But they done came up with a system and systems to destroy the household. So that don't even make sense what he's saying.
Luther King Day being celebrated as a federal holiday.
I think it's great. He's an American. He was a great man. Did a lot for his people. It should be celebrated.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
My last name?
First and last name.
Okay, the first name is Lisa. And the last name is DiFiori, Difiori.
Okay. Lisa, in your opinion, is there racial tension in this?
Am I tripping? Or is that eye, did that eye look like it got popped, like she got socked in the eye? Maybe I'm tripping, you know what I'm saying? The eye could be healing, look like she got a little puffy eye on the other side, like that one healed up. But I could be wrong, but yeah, it looked like that's some abuse going on.
Area.
In this area, first of all, I lived here all my life. And then I moved away and I lived in California for almost 10 years. And I'm just back here very recently. I don't really see any, I'm sorry. I don't see that much of a change as far as the people that have been here for a very long time. Can't really answer because, as I said, I'm not back here that long. And when I grew up here, there wasn't any problem in this neighborhood. Everybody just minded their own business. And now I don't think so. I have my other child is in public school, and the public schools are trying very hard to teach the children not to be prejudiced the way that it should be. So as far as the educational part of it, I think that they're trying to do their best to teach children to feel good about themselves no matter what background or what color they are.
Okay. Do you think that a black person would be as equally safe in this area as a white person?
Is equally safe? As far as I'm concerned, yes. I can't answer for everybody. As I said, this is my own personal opinion.
Okay. How do you feel about programs like affirmative action?
Was that a neighborhood group?
No. Okay. That's okay. We'll move on. How do you feel about the fact that Martin Luther King Day is celebrated as a federal holiday?
I think that's fine. I see no problem with that. Why not?
Do you sense any racial tension at all in this area?
And around here? As far, I don't know if I completely understand what you mean by tension. Like people looking for trouble? Is that what you mean?
Well, I mean, over the past year with the Yosef Hawkins case.
Oh, with that.
Had a lot of publicity.
Oh,
I'm
all right.
wondering if you think that is true, that there is no
okay.
sort of tension in
I think it's just gotten to the point, personally, where the media is really blowing a lot of stuff out of proportion. for obvious reasons. And I don't know, because I don't. First of all, I have a hard time I don't believe everything I see on TV, and I don't believe everything I read. I use my own brain to kind of edit the truth. And as far as blowing it out of proportion, it was a story. It was unfortunate that it happened. But just because it happened here doesn't mean that this neighborhood has to get a bad name. If it could have happened in Prospect Heights or Borough Park or someplace else. And I think it would have had the same kind of outcome and the same media coverage.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
No, it's not.
Well, what is what?
Tell me when you're rolling. Oh, okay. If I can just ask you to spell your name.
Oh,
And you want to
Jean.
Okay, Jane, you want to look at me when you're talking. That's your first name?
Okay, yes,
And
Jean.
your last name is?
Osenni.
Okay, Jane. If you could just tell me, do you think it's true that there's racial tensions in this area?
To some extent, yes.
What does that mean?
It means that it's not as badly as people think. People from out of the unit. I've been in this neighborhood for many, many years, and I've lived right around.
Let me just be clear. Throughout the interviews that she had with the three people, be it that they've been out in public, I haven't seen one brother or sister walk past. Not one brother or sister walk past in this community. Now, mind you, it's daytime. I should be able to see at least one of us. Now, mind you, they in New York. But there's no racial tension. So if that's the case, then you should see a lot of us families, you know what I'm saying? People by themselves, walking, just taking care of their business, just going to their next destination. But you don't see that nowhere.
Around the corner for X amount of years.
Okay, excuse me. Is this too much of a profile? Okay. You might want to just stand right and look at me in a little bit. Okay, yeah.
So there is some, yes, but not to the extent that it's made. And you read the papers, and I think it's exaggerated there.
What do you mean by there is some?
Well, I tell you what's happened. A lot of the foreigners that have come in have taken over, I should say. And some of the people like us who've been here for so many years resent some of the things that they want to do. We feel that it was our neighborhood for so many years, and they're kind of taking over,
What are some of the things that, well, let's just wait till this truck goes by before you start to answer, but what are some of the things that they want to do that you said people like you resent?
Well, for instance, when they want to have something like a feast that they have for X amount of days, they don't consult anybody. They just do it on their own. Now, it's an inconvenience for most of us, especially the ones.
At what point in time do they need to consult anybody to conduct or have any type of festival, anything that's in their own space? Like, what is she talking about? Right? But they not. But this is not towards them. Their own. How they trying to say that the thing took place in Germany, where it was a conflict amongst themselves. This is a real racial situation. That over there was something in-house. She's literally pointing out foreigners, people that don't look like her. Just like you don't see nobody that don't look like her walking around. Again, they got allowed the Mexicans to post up and chill out. The Spaniards to post up and chill out. As you seen them wave the flag, ready to get it in. So it's like, I'm just saying, family, like, she was on point. And they trying to cover it up.
That live on the block like I do down here, where this is, they have to interfere with us, but they don't consult you. They do whatever they want. I don't feel that's the way the neighborhood should be. I mean, everybody is in this neighborhood for the same, so everybody should really.
So if they say no, nah, we don't think you should be having a festival, but this is their set time to have a festival, but they want them to ask them for permission. And she's serious too, fam. Like, what the hell is these people talking about? What? Yeah, man, let me chill out.
Be consulted first, I feel.
Okay. Are you familiar with affirmative action programs?
Not as much as I should be, no.
What do you think about what you know about them?
Well, let's see now. What can I tell you? I can't think of anything right now. Well, give me some questions, and maybe I can.
Okay, well, we can move on to something else. How do you feel about the fact that Martin Luther King Day is celebrated as a federal holiday?
I don't feel that badly about it. I don't feel strong in the fact that it shouldn't be, where some people do. I don't. So let it be.
Okay.
It's just, after all, he was a person that at least tried to do good. So I can't see it as being so terrible.
Okay, and how do you feel about living in a racially mixed neighborhood or having your children go to a racially mixed school?
I don't mind it. I really don't. What I do mind is not the fact that it's mixed race, but I do mind some of the people that take over and are of an element that I don't like. That's all it means. It doesn't mean that whether the person is black, white, yellow, or that doesn't make a difference. It's just the person.
What does coming in, taking over, what is that? Because we move into a neighborhood, yeah, that's our home. So yeah, our kids should be able to play outside. That's taking over the neighborhood. Oh yeah, we move into the neighborhood. Oh yeah, we want to survive like everybody else. We got a little money. That's why we're able to move into the neighborhood. So we want to open up a business so our children can have, we can start building wealth, right? According to the way society see what building wealth is. But that's a problem because we're taking over now because we want to get have a business, because we want a home, because we want our kids out there having a good time playing. That's taking over. As last time I checked, I don't see us moving into a neighborhood telling everybody in the neighborhood to get the fuck up out the neighborhood so that our people can move in. It's when we move in, y'all move out. So then that's more space for us to move in. See how that works?
Person itself. If my child is.
Here comes the mouse. Thank you. Bye-bye. If I could just ask you to spell your name first and last.
Why?
So that we know who you are.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta spell it?
Yeah, well, otherwise, you might say your name is Jean, and I might spell it differently than you actually do. We just like to do it for identification purposes.
On TV,
Don't
it's
worry,
gonna
we're
be.
really with the TV.
No, I mean, I don't know about that now. I know.
Do she know how to spell her name, yo? Do she really know?
I saw you on TV.
No, I'm in the back. I'm not a correspondent on camera.
You weren't.
This is for this week with David Brinkley, Sunday mornings. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Why do I gotta say my name? I don't know.
You don't want to say your name?
Yeah.
Well, it's helpful for us to be able to identify people. So if you would be willing to spell your name, we'd like it if you would do that for us.
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay. Well, let's just move on to some of the questions. How do you feel about some of the events that have been over the past year in this area? Do you think that there's racial tension in this area?
In this area, no. There's no racial tension now. It was sad what happened because I don't think, it was really the neighborhood. It just happened. That's what happened.
How do you feel about living in a racially mixed?
I mean, it wasn't the neighborhood because, again, you don't see no black folks walking down these streets. So, according to them, no, there will be no issues. No, there's no racial problems in our community because there's no black people in the community. Because as soon as they come, we exterminate their ass. You see what happened to whoever it was, right? You see what happened to the young. Like, what are you talking about? This is real racial issues, fam. That in-home shit, it's not racial.
I feel okay. I mean, there's blacks, whites, Puerto Ricans, whatever. We all get along. There's really never been any problem here. Never. You see, never were in the paper before except for that one incident.
So you don't really sense any racial tensions?
No. There's blacks still walking around. Nothing happens. Everybody gets along.
Are you familiar with affirmative action programs?
No.
You're not. Okay. How would you feel if your kids were attending a racially mixed school?
I'm sure eventually they will have to, but I see no problem. You know, I'm sure they'll get along. Which people, boy, kids, they go to racial schools now, right? So eventually, my kids are probably going to have to go.
How do you feel about Martin Luther King Day being a federal holiday?
It's always a federal holiday. I never had a problem with that.
Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm just going to ask you to spell your name for us.
Frank Trunzo, Trunzo.
Okay. Frank, do you think it's true or not that there are racial tensions in this area?
Not true.
Not true. Okay. How do you feel as an individual about living, working, or sending your kids to school in a racially mixed environment?
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay. Do you think that this area was accurately portrayed?
Yes.
Next year. What do you mean by that?
You mean by the incident that happened with
Uh-huh.
Well, these things, they happens all over, not just in Bensonhurst.
Okay.
The news overdid that.
What do you mean by they overdid it?
It was when they killed President Kennedy, he didn't make the headlines for 10 days on a row. With this racial thing, it was on the headlines for over 2 weeks on a row. Headlines. What was that?
Are you at all familiar with affirmative action programs?
No.
Affirmative action, no. Okay. How do you feel about the celebration of Martin Luther King Day?
How I feel about it? I don't know. I really don't know. So it's a holiday. They made it a legal holiday, right?
Do you think that there's any tensions, any racial tensions between the youth in this area?
No. They're all normal kids. Kids fight. All kids fight for when I was a kid. Now they make a big deal because two kids have a fist fight. They make a big deal.
So you don't think it happened to be related at all to race?
No.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Take care.
They told us 300 and some people got killed. They killed 5,000 people, black people. It's something that's great. You understand? That's great. No, I never told you that it was wrong. I never told you that it was wrong. They labeled Noriega as a drug dealer. And that made them act. Let me finish. And that made them actions for the. But this drug dealer was bed partners with George Bush when he was the head of the CIA. Okay, so now we go on in Black America. They're labeling all the black youth as drug dealers. If a brother walks down the street with a beep on, he's a drug dealer. If he got a big gold chain on, he's a drug dealer. Every other Los Angeles, the police say they can't compete with the gangbangers. They say they outpower us, so they can let my people go. And when Moses told Pharaoh to let my people go, they came up with a scheme to kill the firstborn male. You kill their children, and that's what they doing to us, man.
All right, let me
They
talk.
killing our children in the street in New York.
You're talking about Pharaoh? Who else was Pharaoh oppressing?
What?
Who else was Pharaoh?
Our people. Our people.
I think there were some Jews in Egypt too.
Yeah, but then we're speaking of Egypt in the days of ancient that proves that where Africa we speaking of. So how can you tell me your people was in Africa
They were
in
my
such a
people.
time?
I'm not a Jew.
Huh?
I'm just saying that I don't
let me explain something. Let me set the record clear.
People who suffer from racism are racist.
Let me set the record clear.
We're not racist.
Oh.
Racist.
The people that suffer from racism are racist. Did she just say that? The people that suffer from racism are racist. That's just like, that just came out so easy. So we walking around beating them, you know what I'm saying? Our police officers catching the white folks, you know what I mean? Whooping them up, you know what I'm saying? Going to court, you know what I mean? All the black folks, you know what I'm saying? We getting benefit of the doubt, knowing that we guilty. You know what I mean? Like, what? See, this is what happens when these parasites don't tell the truth, right? When they don't teach truth, right? This is what happens.
And number one, the enemy here is not Jewish people. See, the enemy here is the government of the United States.
What happened to the civil rights law that was violated? Federal civil rights law. Where's the federal government
civil rights? It's human rights. That's why they killed. That's why they killed Malcolm. That's why they killed King. When these people went abroad and they found out that the struggle was a universal struggle of human rights, they killed them dead. All right, and today the genius, the black genius, is in the jail. That's why this country is falling apart. Because the people who built this country are in jail. Black people built America. The sweater from they worked my great grandmother from Kansas in the morning to Kansas at night. And all I want is some restitution. All I want is to pay me like they're getting ready to pay the Chinese people that they put in concentration camps. All I want is my fair share. I don't hate anybody. I'm the most peaceful, loving person I am. But if they bring down the wrong verdict,
They bring down the wrong verdict. I hope you get your restitution.
We can't do it. I have to speak to a man in language he understands. The American government understands force. If you speak French, I got to speak to you in French. The American government, we, the black community, must speak as one united voice and violently.
And I support you.
We've been too peaceful. The Jews said, never again. And Hitler only put 6 million of them in ovens. They killed 100 million of us on the passage over here. All right. Then after that 100 million that they killed, the ones they brought over here, another 70% of us died of disease and horrible food.
I just think that if you put things in these terms, you're asking for more hatred. You're perpetrating more hatred.
How can I be? See, you always look to blame the victim for what the victor has done.
I'm not blaming the victim. I'm with you.
How can you say I'm perpetrating? I'm just telling the truth.
Because I walk by this building and there's a lot of people standing around and they're all upset about Yusuf Hawkins. So what are they talking about?
Listen, no.
And that makes me mad.
If you took a conscious vote of all the black people right here in this crowd, how many of us get justice in there?
Wait a minute.
How many people? Raise your hand if you think we get justice in there.
You see any black people don't have the right to be very upset or have any anger towards the Jewish people of Israel itself in South Africa building an atomic bomb? Who's the biggest trading partner when all the world open sanction against South Africa? Israel never level one sanction against South Africa, and we shouldn't be angry with the Jews in South Africa.
Do you think that every Jew in Israel or America supports the Israeli government?
Yes, because they support their own government. They support the suppression of black people. That's my interpretation.
Jews understand something that we as black people don't understand yet, but we waking up. See, Marcus Garvey told us that we got to remember home, and the Jews never forget home. They never forget home.
Ma'am, I'm not a Jew.
World, and you can do whatever you want to do.
I'm not a Jew, ma'am, and I'd like to tell you something.
There's any white person in this country. You can take it.
You know, it's like we don't create the climate of hate. If you want to ask me where my attitudes and where my anger comes from, just sew a label on me, made in America. Just sew a label, made in America. Because that's what this is. This is made in America. And that's what's wrong with the black youth. See, they angry. They so angry. And see, what happens is the finger's been pointed at the wrong person.
Let her talk. Because since you've been talking, you haven't made a valid point.
I'll just tell you what my point is.
But they all can come across.
If I walked by a group of white people who were putting down black people, I would stop and tell them to stop.
How does that help me, sister?
And I'm telling you, I'm walking by a group of black people putting
burning down Jews, and I'm telling you, don't.
You see,
I have to go back to work.
we're not racist. Have a wonderful day. Take your hands to enjoy yourself.
Take care of yourself.
Enjoy yourself. A lot of black people wish they had to go back to work too. Still out here waiting for the verdict. A bunch of news people decided to come around. I told them that we're going to burn the flag today, and I brought a flag that deserves to be burned. I mean, a flag like this here, look at it. It's just a piece of material, first of all. It's not doing nothing for the African people. These are African people, black people comments about this here flag. That this here flag here is something that really deserves to be burned. And especially the condition of it now, you can see that it certainly belongs. I mean, what else can you do with a piece of rag like this here? But to protest the racism in America and pertaining to this here lynching that's going on, that even the jurors can't recognize there's a lynching. We're going to be down here burning flags once a week to protest of racism, and also pertaining to reparations, compensation to slaves. That's what we want, lighters, brother. We want them to compensate us for 400 years of slavery. So let them know that that's why I'm out here getting ready to burn this flag. We're going to be down here burning flags once a week. Down here at Supreme Court. And let us give you call. There's a lot of news people around here. They trying to give a story to this store. Next door, where I came up to the news people, they done got busy. I guess they must be recording the other people, but I was here all along, so they wasn't recording me. But it's flag burning day. That's right. And somebody give me a lighter for flag burning day. Yeah, so it's a cash. 30. So let's be recording that. We're out here waiting for the verdict pertaining to the Bensonhurst lynching, and we're out here fighting for reparations, compensation for slavery. Because they compensated the Chinese, they compensated the Japanese, they compensated the Jews, they compensated other ethnic groups. Now it's time for them to compensate the very ones that built this country. So that's why we out here burning the flag, because white folks gonna try to act like 400 years of slavery never took place. White folks gonna try to act like 400 years of free labor never took place. But let them know that all black people are mostly agree with what I'm saying when I speak about reparations and compensation for slavery.
That flag's not for us.
Reparations, compensation for slavery, in the name of God. Okay, y'all can please take a trip now, because we got other activities that I don't think you news people won't even see. So take the housing, and they took away the businesses that the African people had already established. So let that be recorded. If that don't be recorded along with the rest of the reason why I'm burning this here flag, then I'm going to start taking out a lawsuit against all the news people around here. It's gonna be Bubble Hill. These are Auschwitz. Auschwitz. power with. You got a right to stand here. Power! It's gonna be Bensonhurst. It's gonna be Carmel Hill. It's gonna be Marham Hill. It's gonna be Howard Hill. Look at the police. Our Father set their souls on the ground of the earth. No. They killed us every single our forefathers. We know the police know where every black spot is, and they don't do nothing. We know that the president and the senators and the judges allow the drug to come over here. The drug already saved us. I know the truth. And I'm always the truth and can't no man repudiate me. Not your sergeant, not your lieutenant, and you can take me to jail. Because I'm already in jail. I am MIA, missing in America. And black people are MIA. We're missing in America. We are all in jail if you want, but you won't be able to fill them up. You won't be able to fill us up. 23 million people.
When you're telling everybody to keep their mouth shut, good. And if we had a hear to one of their people, they could tell everybody to keep their mouth shut. Or one of the only people had to get to one of their own people, they could tell everybody to keep their mouth shut.
You can either come out to the basement. As a revolutionary, you must know your neighborhood. I don't want to go anywhere. I got money. I got about $100 money. Look, the United States government
So what we see them just standing there looking is because, right, they whole community is nothing but Jews. So when they speak, is one voice. Everybody take heed. Stop acting unruly. Stop acting crazy. Don't do none of that. So this is what we see. We see them just standing there looking because they're protected by who? Their police. They can talk their shit. They can do whatever they want to do, but they're protected by their police. So at the end of the day, this is what racism looked like. Racism had nothing to do with what went on in Germany. The lies that they try and continue to push and kick to us as if we have no understanding, as if we can't read, as if we can't get the research and get the information for ourselves to see what's really going on. All right. It's like, man, if we don't address and bring out the actual truth to what's really going on, they're going to continue to control the narrative. So I know it's early. The brother's going to be coming on later on. Yeah, you already know what time it is. So I'm going to be doing this from time to time. You know, when I come across some information, some videos that I feel like the family need to tap into and get an understanding. Because I looked at this video as pertaining to the topic and the conversation that's going on amongst our community with Whoopi Goldberg, and are Jews a race? And according to information, no. You know, they created something and called it that, but it ain't a nation of people. They have a nation, but it's not called Jews. Again, in the Germanic language, you won't find a word, especially in the Shemitic language that they claim to be a part of. You definitely won't find the word. So that in itself kills the whole argument if a person want to try and bring an argument about the title itself. I mean, they killed themselves when they adopted a title and attached themselves to that title, and then placed it in the Bible and act like they don't deal with the Bible. Hey, funny. But yeah, family, I just thought I'd bring that out. You know, like I say, I don't really like to talk and say too much, especially if I don't have a PowerPoint to back up what I'm saying. So that being said, Shalom, loved ones. I'll see y'all later.